Hey stretch friends, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline, a certified Pilates and yoga instructor here in Christchurch, New Zealand. Today is a quick stretch sesh looking at the lower body primarily, but also getting into a nice little movement through the entire back space, lower back, into those hips, into the glutes, those hamstrings, and those calves. So let's go ahead and get this party started with some options in our seated work. So an option is to have a pillow, a block, a bolster, whatever you have. Maybe it's a blanket off your couch, taking that under the sit bones. You have the option to find a nice cross-legged position or a mermaid position. Taking that right shin out in front and that left shin out to the side, softening into that Z shape so it doesn't have to be a nice structure with that thigh kicking back. It can be nice and soft with that knee drawing in to the right arch of the foot. Option to stay here. This just lifts you a little bit away from the earth so that the hips are a little higher, softening through the hip joint and softening through those knee joints. If you want to get a little bit deeper here, and there's no right or wrong, it's where you are today. Find what's beneficial for your practice. Sitting onto the mat, making sure those two sit bones can lie heavily onto the mat. The knees feel all good, and so do those hips. Spine is nice and long. We're growing like a weed through the crown of the head. And then take that left hand down to the mat beside you. Wherever you are seated, reaching the other arm out to the side. Flip the palm. Elbow is going to fold into the side of the waist as you lift up and over an imaginary basket or bolster just around the side body. Elbow is going to draw into that side waist as the upper arm reaches up and over like a rainbow, reaching through those fingertips, keeping the sit bones nice and heavy and breathing through that side body. We want to feel that fanning sensation through the side of the ribs, the intercostal muscles, the muscles in between the ribs. Get a little bit of a stretch as well. One more breath. Inhale back to center. Take the arms out to that T, flip the other hand, and up and over that basket, that barrel, whatever it is at the side of the rib cage, lifting up and out actively through those ribs. Fanning through the top set of ribs, one more breath here. Inhale back to center. One more time to the other side. The gaze can be down at that bottom hand, mid, or up at the top hand. Back to center on the inhale, flip, and to the other side we go. Inhale back to center, roll out those shoulders, and if you can without any hands, pop it on over to the other side. Otherwise, resting those hands, finding a comfortable seat, moving and grooving, maybe with that nice pillow or blanket. Reaching those arms, when you're ready, lift it up and over. Inhale back to center. Keep those sit bones nice and heavy. Flip the palm, lifting out of the lower set of ribs and fanning through the top set of ribs. You can even imagine those muscles in between the ribs getting a nice little stretch, almost yawning it out. One more side. And back to center. Roll out those shoulders, have a little bit of movement, and then take the hands just behind yourself. Soles of the feet are going to land about hip-width distance apart. Walk those toes a little further forward. Flip the palms of the hands onto the mat. Fingertips facing towards the back of that mat or the front of that mat behind you. Toes are going to face the other way. Shine the heart a little bit through those shoulders as you press through the palms of the hands, opening the heart into extension. Option here, if you want a little bit more of a stretch, walk those heels a little closer to the glutes. If it feels good, lift those hips. Last two breaths. Making sure not to crank the neck space, back, just keeping a soft nod of the chin. Draw back onto the sit bones And let's take those legs out to a nice V shape. So sweeping one leg, then the other out to that V shape. There's a softness in the knees and flexion through those feet. So point those toes up to the sky, heels softly dig into the mat. Sit bones, you can have a little wiggle here, making sure you're sitting on that true seated position. So feeling the sit bones on the earth. We're going to take a look at that left leg. Hands are going to frame that left leg. Inhale, growing a few inches through the crown of the head, nice and long, nice and strong through the spine. We already have a gentle twist. And then from here, we keep the feet flexed. Slowly walk the hands forward. Now, when you feel resistance, it might be right away, you pause here. Still facing those two collarbones towards the toes of the left foot. One more breath. With a nice long spine, feeling that under the back of the leg, feeling that into the side body perhaps. And then as you exhale, nod the chin, start to round through the spine. Finding that flexion through the spine or that C shape. Maybe the hands walk a little further forward. Keep breathing. Those collarbones, those two sides of the shoulders want to face towards that big toe. And as you inhale, reaching through the crown of the head, lengthen through the spine, and walk the hands back. To the other side we go. Keep that flexion through the feet, so toes are still pointing, heels are still digging, knees are nice and soft to generously bent. It's absolutely up to you and where your hamstrings are at today. And then turning to face towards that big toe, collarbones are smiling, and then slowly walk it forward. Till you feel that resistance. Give it a pause. Give a few moments of breath. Feeling the sensations. With every exhale, maybe feeling into that twist a little bit more. It's subtle, but it's there. And then we start to nod the chin to the chest. Walking the hands forward. If it's there, keep the hips nice and heavy. Both sides of the hips are nice and even. So that means that left hip feels that sense of weight. Inhale, growing through the crown of the head, nice and long through the spine, walking the hands all the way back. All right, we're going to take that right leg, sole of the foot draws into the left thigh. From here, we have a nice fold in the knee, and we're still flexing through with that left leg. Slowly rotating to face that big toe. Hands are going to frame. We're here once again, walking the hands forward with that long spine. Make sure those collarbones are smiling to either side of the room and pointing right towards that big toe. Now you're more than welcome to have a gentle to generous bend in that knee. Otherwise, we start to walk a little further, keeping the spine nice and long. Taking a few moments between softening down. The chest is slowly melting towards that front knee. And it doesn't need to make it. Mine won't. That's okay. We're here for a nice stretch today. Now, if you have the space, wrapping around maybe the calf, maybe wrapping around the arch of the foot, keeping a nice long spine. Last two breaths here. Really nice work. Finding a stretch class takes a little bit of patience as well. Taking the hands back down to the mat, walking all the way back up, and to the other side we go. Sweep it out. Spine is long, sit bones are heavy, and we're walking it all the way down. Where we feel that resistance, that's where we pause and take that moment. We know we have one more walk to go, so we don't have to go the furthest we can go. Again, it is all about that patience when it comes to stretching. And slowly walking the hands slightly forward, keeping the spine nice and long. Keep breathing. The chest is slowly melting towards that front knee, but it's nice and proud. We want to lift, feeling that length through the spine. Maybe the hands wrap around. the shin, the arch of the foot, the toes. One side is going to feel a little bit different than the other. That's all good. We don't need to find the same space or the same place side to side. Take the hands back down and walk all the way up. All right, finding your way into a butterfly position. Knees are out to the side, soles of the feet together. Sit bones are nice and heavy. You can even have a sway or a rock to find that true sit once again. And then from here, we're going to find a little bit of rotation. So taking that right hand onto the left shin or to that knee, reaching the left arm behind you, maybe looking over that back shoulder, maybe staying nice and still. With every exhale, slowly rotating a little bit more. Now here, if this doesn't feel comfortable, lengthen the legs out in front of you and find that twist, or find that crisscross applesauce, maybe taking a seat onto that nice little blanket, bolster, or pillow. With every exhale, twisting a little bit more through the mid-spine or that thoracic spine, keeping the heart nice and open, the crown of the head lifted, and then inhale, unwind, other side. Every exhale is a chance to find a little deeper into that twist. Inhale back to center. One more thing before we end today's practice is we're going to find those palms of the hands behind you once again. Fingertips pointing towards the back of the room, toes pointing towards the front, and option to stay here. Maybe option to fold those heels towards you and shine the heart, lifting a little higher. Maybe you're finding you have a little bit more space now that we've found a little bit of movement. We're warming up. Or an option here is to find a nice figure 4 position. So take one of the legs, crisscross applesauce, over the bottom of the opposite thigh. Now, again, option to stay here. Maybe the heel gets a little closer. As long as we can sit up nice and tall, open the heart through. Now you will feel this through the glute or just kind of the outside of that leg. From here, an option to lift and hover, maybe drawing the hips towards the heel and swaying back and forth. Last 2 breaths wherever you are today. And again, side to side might look worlds different. Slowly coming back down and to the other side. Ooh, this side is a little tighter. You always figure that out halfway through. You're like, oh yeah, there it is. All right. And again, you can move that heel a little closer to the glute if you want a little extra. Maybe start to lift the sit bones and gently rock back and forth. Last breath here. Draw down and back to center and crisscross applesauce. Whew. Well done, team. Thanks for stretching with me today. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.